Hi, this is not an original video idea, but it's one that I like a lot. So no intro, here's some useless information about Geometry Dash. The ID for the daily level is actually -1, and the weeklies is -2. This means that when you want to download the daily level, the game is actually downloading level -1. When rating a level for the first time, this pop-up appears letting you know that easy levels are 1 to 2 stars, hard levels are 3 to 5, insane levels are 7 to 9, and yeah, it's totally outdated. Although you can't see it in-game, the challenge actually has a difficulty of hard. Beating it grants you 3 stars and 100 orbs. The spiders on the main menu will always be the same as the one you currently use. Each grid space in the editor is equal to 30 units. The big arrows in the Edit tab move objects over by 2, and the small ones move it by 0.5. The supporter icon was originally granted by rating Geometry Dash in the Google Play or App Store. This led to the game being temporarily taken down on Google Play since it goes against their terms of service. That's why the icon is now given to you for free by Scratch. Once you have 100 of a shard, it's impossible to get more since they'll be automatically converted to 100 mana orbs. The amount of diamonds rewarded by a level is whatever the star count is plus 2. The formula for how mana orbs are rewarded is surprisingly complicated. Basically, 80% of a level's orbs are obtained by making progress in it, and the last 20% is given when you beat the level. To calculate the amount of orbs you'll have at a certain percentage, the formula is total orbs times 0.8 times percentage divided by 100 rounded down to the nearest whole number. In order to buy every shop item, you need 471,500 mana orbs. That's the equivalent of beating 943 demon levels. The first time you enter the Codebreaker vault code, the solution is permanently stored in your save file. The numbers will change every time you type the code, but the actual answer always stays the same. As you scroll through the main levels, the game cycles through 9 different background colors. These colors aren't stored as hex codes, but rather as icon colors. For example, the ID for the red background is 9, which tells the game to set it to this icon color. Many of the editor's selectable fonts are actually direct references to other things. Font 3 is the Star Wars font, Font 10 is Minecraft, Font 11 is Mario, and Font 12 is Pokemon. When you see an unregistered player with a green username, their name is actually colored blue, not green. It only looks this way because mixing blue and yellow makes green. Every daily level has its own ID to determine which daily it was. The first daily level is 1, the second was 2, and so on. Meanwhile, the first weekly level was 100,001, then 100,002. This means that after 100,000 daily levels, we'll start overflowing into weeklies unless RobTop does something. This will happen in the year 2290. In older versions of Geometry Dash, tapping an icon on the main menu didn't do anything. This is why nobody played the game back then. The color channels past 999 are secretly reserved for other things. 1000 is the background, 1001 is the ground, 1002 is the ground line, and so on. The funniest one is 1010, which is just black. It's actually used by saw blades, as seen here. Despite the fact that Geometry Dash is a 2D game, RobTop officially calls the icon the cube at the very end of Knockem. When downloading a level, the GD servers don't actually tell you what song it uses or what the name of the creator is. Instead, this information is saved when you search for the level. However, since the daily level doesn't require searching, this will sometimes lead to the song appearing as unknown at first. Geometry Dash has been released for almost 9 years now, and Update 2.11 alone has taken up over half of its entire lifespan. Funny enough, the exact halfway point for this was February 11th, which is 211. RobTop draws all the game's textures and icons with vectors, which uses equations instead of pixels. This means that he has infinite quality versions of all the game's art, meanwhile we're stuck with ew. Every level secretly saves the amount of time you spent inside the editor. There's no way to see it in-game, but it can be viewed pretty easily with mods or external tools. My guess is that this timer is used to prevent rush levels from appearing in the Magic tab. Along with your jump count, the game also secretly tracks the number of times you clicked on your best attempt. Again, you need mods to be able to see it, and I'll show the ones I'm using in this video on screen. Did you know that your password is stored in your save file in plain text? Yeah, it's kind of unsafe. This also means that when you change your password, everything will stop working since the password stored on your save file is now outdated. The refresh login button simply updates what password is stored. Oh, also, every chest you've ever opened is also stored in your save file as well. No idea why, but it's there. If you're on Windows, your save data is stored in appdata/local/geometry dash. Game Manager stores pretty much everything except for your created levels, which is stored in local levels instead. The ones with 2 in the name are just backups in case something goes horribly wrong. If you don't like the account system, you can back up your data by making copies of these files. If you're having trouble with the account system, try deleting some saved or created levels. Saving will fail once your save file is bigger than about 32 megabytes. Although the wave was added in Update 1.9, you couldn't customize it until 2.0. People were very surprised to see that the icon kit actually called it the dart, but it was changed to wave a month later in 2.01. Update 2.01 also made a bit of a funny change to the vault. The Vault Keeper used to say "damn it" after one of his lines, but after the update it was changed to "never mind." In the game files, the UFO is actually known as the bird. Similarly, the ball is called the player ball, and the 2.2 game mode is called the swing. This is the formula that determines the font size for long comments. I only know this because we reverse engineered it for that comment generator site I made. Although it's impossible to do in-game, you can actually send a message to yourself and even block yourself. Blocking will prevent you from viewing your own profile, but it'll be fixed when you relaunch the game. There's an unused sound effect in the game files called counter003, which sounds like this. RobTop's old game Boomlings has a similar sound called counter001, which can be heard in the game. Speaking of Boomlings, a lot of Geometry Dash's textures are actually taken from it. This includes the coin, crown, skull, and more. Before Geometry Dash, RobTop teamed up with a few other people to form Rune Digital Games and develop a mobile game called Forlorn. The game was never released, and Rob said he can't share it, but we do know that the 2.2 platformer textures were taken from it, as well as one of the fire animations and even some of Rob's random songs on Newgrounds. If you look at the resources folder for the game, you'll see the letters GJ pop up quite a bit. This stands for Geometry Jump, which was the original name for the game. It's still used all over the game's code, even to this day. You'll also notice a lot of CC, which stands for Cocos, the game's engine. Out of 4,000 featured levels, 64% of them put their invisible objects on Group 1, 5% put them on Group 999, and 1% put them on Group 2. I made a short on this which goes into more detail. Also out of those 4,000 levels, the largest one was Press Start V, which has 400,000 objects and an uncompressed size of 40 megabytes. Some runner-ups are Storming Summit, which is also 40 megabytes, White Space, which is 26, and Ancestral Calamity, which is 21. Using this data, we can also find out that the average file size of a single object is 69.69 bytes. Nice. When Update 1.9 was released, several official levels had their difficulties changed. Back on Track was originally normal, Polargeist was hard, Dryode and Base After Base were harder, and Can't Let Go Through Cycles were all insane. Although Stereo Madness's difficulty didn't change in 1.9, it still got a pretty significant nerf. The last coin was originally a lot harder to obtain, but a bunch of its spikes were removed in the update. Along with demon levels and the leaderboard, Update 1.3 also added stars to the game. Before that, you would just kind of play levels for fun? I don't know. The sound for collecting a diamond is actually just a level complete noise, but pitched up. Here's every single level with an ID that's less than 1,000. Why? I don't know, why not? There's 3 featured levels named JF, and they're all rated 5 stars. If you're a creator, well, let's keep it going. The song Nepal Monastery from Half-Life uses the same sample RobTop used for the music in the Chamber of Time. The Paste Color button can actually recolor any object in the game. This is also doable with the Pulse trigger, but this method is way easier. If you want to run a bunch of triggers in quick succession, just assemble them in a straight line and then rotate them. I only upload one video every month or two, and they're usually pretty interesting, so if you like what you're seeing so far and want to see more of it every now and then, it would be pretty cool if you subscribed, or at least liked the video. I'll give you until my account saves to make up your mind. The default position for the orange teleport portal is exactly 100 units above the blue one, which is equal to 3.33 grid spaces. If you put both teleport portals directly on top of each other, the position will reset when you reload the level. Believe it or not, this isn't a bug because there's a line of code that's specifically meant to do this. My guess is that RobTop only thought this would be possible when he first placed the portal down. The level Knock Him from Sub-Zero is actually completely beatable in 2.1. Some parts are a little broken though. RobTop's full name is Robert Nicholas Christian Topala. He's 35 years old and currently lives on a private farm with his dogs, horses, and one hell of a gym. We also know that he has a ton of SteelSeries products, an oxygen tank it looks like, and a really sexy lamp. Here's a stitched together photo of his desktop from one of his live streams, which contains dislikebot.txt and a meme he posted in the daily chat once. His background is an art piece called Arctic Spirit, and it was drawn by Loxar Triple in 2019. Oh, and his IP address is 104.26. In 1.9, the XL length was called extra long and it couldn't be searched for. The game's difficulty faces directly resemble the emoticons used on Newgrounds. This is a subtle reference to the fact that every good game originates from Newgrounds. The icon for beating Theory 2 with 3 coins actually resembles a Boo from the Mario franchise. The colors for my icon were directly inspired by RobTop's Update 2.0 example video, where I saw him using gray on the icon and I thought it looked really cool. The orange is just because I like orange. Speaking of the 2.0 examples video, there's some random code visible at the very end. No idea what that's all about. I really want to open these last 4 chests in the treasure room, but I literally can't. I hate it. In Geometry Dash World, the shop contains a TV where you can watch an ad to get 100 orbs. This random Google result says that unskippable ads make about 16 cents, so if that's true, that means that $1 US equal to about 625 mana orbs. According to the How to Play menu, using a jump ring is called a ring jump. We should totally call it this, it sounds kinda cool. To unlock the social media chest on the menu, you have to be tabbed off the game for at least 4 seconds. Anything less won't do anything. If you enable the Only Allow Featured Levels parental control, the Map Pack button disappears instead of the search button. As funny as this would be to leave on, it also removes the View Levels button from profiles. If you enable the Disable Comments parental control, the game crashes the moment you click the comment tab. Mind you, this still means that it's doing its job. If you're wondering why this happens, it's because the game is trying to hide all the comment buttons before they're actually created. The default background and ground color in the editor is exactly the same as the starting colors in Base After Base, right down to the hex code. The voice at the start of blast processing is saying, "Get ready for a lot of fun and excitement." It seems to come from whatever this video is. When a creator adds a hidden dev path to the level to make it easier to verify, this is known as a secret way. It's probably the stupidest term in the Geometry Dash community. Like, seriously, why do we call it this? Who came up with this? To give the illusion of curvy ground, a lot of creators will just stick a single block under the player and then move it up and down. The levels with IDs of 420-666 and 666-420 both use Clutterfunk as their song. I found this out when I was very young. While almost all custom songs are downloaded from Newgrounds, there's a bunch that are downloaded from RobTop's servers instead. These include At the Speed of Light, Future Funk, and every Acid Notation song. This was done because the songs were taken off Newgrounds either temporarily or permanently. I'll never be able to unsee the fact that triggers are really inconsistent with if their text is gold or white. For example, the move trigger is white, but the alpha trigger is gold. All of the songs used in Meltdown and World are in the game files for the Steam version of GD and can even be used. Since songs are stored as numerical IDs, it's very possible that every level currently using these songs will have their songs shifted over by 1 or 2 when 2.2 releases. You may have known that if you crash at the start of Stereo Madness or Polargeist, you'll see a hard-coded tutorial message. In fact, it's so hard-coded that if you edit your save file to change a level's ID to 1, you'll see the message there too. In the mobile versions of Geometry Dash, typing a swear word in a level name will automatically censor it with a hyphen. This is the only way to type a hyphen without hacks, and it will actually prevent the level from being uploaded because RobTop recently removed the ability to upload levels with illegal names, which just makes Serious even more special. Personally, I think we should be able to use more characters in the level names, but whatever. By the way, the swear filter is also hilarious. There's a total of 246 banned words, including arse, feces, lesbian, queer, and even rectum, which is basically my name. Oh, and if you try to use numbers to bypass the swear filter, RobTop thought of that too. In fact, if you try and type 8234575, that will also get blocked because the swear filter will think it's saying breasts. The transition triggers in the editor look really cool, and creators should really use them more. Same thing goes for the icon trail. The Master Detective coin appears after scrolling past exactly 55 levels on the main menu. This means that the more levels that get added to the game, the less times you'll have to loop through all of them. There's a couple codes in the Vault of Secrets that give a special response but don't unlock anything. Those codes are Robtop, Kappa, Unicorn, Battop, and RubRubPowa123. That last one was added to poke fun at people who data mine the game in order to find new vault codes. There's an unused set of textures in the game for what appears to be BPM being enabled and disabled. Maybe you would have been able to sync up guidelines to the song's BPM? Who knows? When a moderator sends a level, they can click the requested difficulty to pick if they think the level should be featured or not. But much like every other button in the game, you can also hold it down.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No, 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 no.
Icons are split into 4 different layers: the glow, the secondary layer, the primary layer, and a layer that's always white. If you try recoloring the layer that's always white, you get some pretty hilarious / creepy results. For some reason, RobTop uploaded the 1.7 sneak peek twice, and their view count is pretty balanced as well. If you select the pickup counter object, then use it as a filter in the delete tab, you'll see an unused counter trigger texture instead. Speaking of the delete tab's filter, if you enable select filter from the editor's pause menu, then you'll only be able to select that object. For some reason, a lot of people don't know about this, and it's a total lifesaver. Tell you what, let's just run through the other editor buttons as well. Align X and Align Y evenly distribute objects across that axis, which is useful for centering things. Create base, outline, and edges all help decorate fancy tiles like the crystal for you. And Build Helper takes whatever you have selected and moves all the trigger groups to unused ones. All of the colored text in Geometry Dash is stored with special color tags. There's 9 different colors, and there's not really a consistent pattern in the way RobTop uses them. You can use these tags for yourself in level descriptions, but only when this comment mode is enabled. And make sure to close the color tags correctly, or the game will crash. Probably shouldn't have revealed that. There's also a few other tags in the game which are exclusively for the game's text boxes. The D tag pauses the text for a specified amount of time, and the I tag instantly reveals the rest of the message. All 3 of the shop's songs are royalty-free compositions by the one and only Kevin MacLeod. The main shop is called Bossa Bossa, Scratch's shop uses Sneaky Snitch, and the community shop uses March of the Spoons. The icon kit is actually called the Garage in the game's code, and I don't know what it is, but that name is just... what? The game's main font is different depending on your graphics setting. High quality uses Helvetica, but mobile and anything else uses Aller. The most notable difference is the lowercase g. If you use hacks to set an object's scale to a negative number, the hitbox almost completely disappears. This doesn't work for every object, but it's a good chunk of them. The background trigger used to have a tint ground option, which also changes the color of the ground to whatever you select. This was removed when the color trigger was reworked in 2.1, as you can achieve the same effect with the copy color option. There's only one playable demon level in Geometry Dash World, and it's 9 circles. This is because the levels in World are picked from past daily levels, and 9 circles was the daily level on April Fool's 2020. If you think that a consistent schedule is the key to being popular on YouTube, just remember that RobTop has more subscribers than pretty much all of your favorite content creators. There's a handful of Minecraft YouTubers that he's still yet to beat, but he's still ahead of the official Minecraft channel, so that's cool. Oh my god, we're done. If you're still watching the video at this point, congratulations, you're free now! Hopefully that was all the useless information about Geometry Dash that you could ever ask for. Maybe you knew some of them, maybe you didn't. I'd like to hope that you thought this was interesting, but if you made it this far, I guess that means you found it cool. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to drop any thoughts or facts of your own in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video, which, knowing myself, will probably be just as useless.